Hello, welcome back to another P38 video. So today we're going to be doing headlining. Most of you know that these always sag with drop. This one's no exception, but it's gone a little bit mouldy. So what we're going to do, we're going to start by taking out all the trim pieces in the interior. So don't let this put you off, it's actually quite an easy job. If you don't have the space, because it is obviously quite a big lump to move out to clear off the old foam, and it's incredibly messy, and don't take it in your house because you will regret it. So there's companies on eBay that will do an exchange service that you can actually go there. There's a guy in Taunton I have used, and you go down there and he takes about an hour because he has one ready to go back in. So you can do that, or you can buy your own material, which I have done in this case, and it's $79.99 off of eBay. You can also order off of Martin Trims, any colour you like. I'm going to go with oatmeal still, so I'll try and keep this quick, because obviously I don't want to rab it on, and I do apologise, I've got a terrible case of man flu. But before you start, just make sure everything's clear in the car, lower the car down because you're going to be crawling in and out, get yourself nice and comfortable because you're going to be upside down in awkward angles, and no jeans because everyone knows why not jeans, isn't that what the builder's bum. And I'll just show you some of the fiddly clips, because if you break them they are quite expensive to replace. So let me show you. So we're just going to have a quick look in the car. So these are actually just clipped in into the headlining, he says. So you've got a little steel ring which we'll have to take out later, and you can see the spring clips there. There's a little cover on here. You can see the mould holes on the belt. And then they screw in. Obviously you've got screws here, same for the other side. These just pull off. On these handles you'll see there are tiny little covers which just pry off. Start from the top and then just take them off and then unscrew these. The sensor here for the alarm just unclips. Now these clips that go on here, which look like this, are the ones which are quite expensive and break. So as you can see, they sit over this bolt. So what I tend to do, I gently, this one's actually already been broken in the past, you can see someone's glued it, but you gently pry off the bottom slightly and then push up, and it comes off in one piece. If you put too much pressure they will snap. As you can see, this one snapped in that particular place. So I'm going to do the rest. As a repeat for the other procedures there, you got your lights that's come out, they unclip, and I believe there's a screw. I'll have another look in a minute. Same for the back ones. Now these trims are only held on, so you unbolt these, take the door seals off, and then it unclips. So they are a bit relaxed. You won't take it off altogether, you just need to loosen it at the top so you can slide the headlining out. So that's all the headlining clips and everything removed, and the headlining's out, as you can see here. So we will have to remove these metal retaining clips, obviously, because we're going to have to refit those. They're just bent around the underside of the headlining. Obviously I've got no sunroof, so you would have to cut your sunroof out. Now I should mention, if you've got mould, I'd make sure you fix the water leak first before investing in this, because obviously it's only going to come back. So what we're going to do, I'm going to lay this down, and the messy stuff is this foam, which is actually what fails in the first place. It's this orange and it's horrendously sticky. So this is why I said don't do it inside. And I find using a wire brush and then some sort of Henry Hoover type thing gets this up clean. And if you leave anything, it will show through the new headlining, so you have to make sure it's completely clean. And that's a case of re-trimming, and I'll meet you once I've done that. Okay, so you can see I've done half of it now. You won't get it completely clean, but you can see this half is the original section I haven't done. This is what I've done over here. So just get a wire brush like this. Now, if you got this far, you realise why I said to you don't take it inside the house. It's incredibly sticky, and then it's just a case of so you don't need to watch me do the whole of that. So I'm going to go and finish that off and get that nice and clean. If you've got any staples in it where someone's put the staples to keep the old headlining up, make sure you remove those. As I say, everything will show. And there's a case we're going to get the new material and layer on top. You will need a sharp scalpel by this stage and some gloves, because anything you touch will mark the new headlining. So get some disposable gloves and a nice sharp staple set. I'll put them in scalpel set, sorry. I'll put them in the description because you will need those before you go any further. All right, let me clean this up and then I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so now we are clean as it's going to be without damaging the headboard. I've got the material already, so it's just a case of doing a section by section. Roll it out, get your spray frame on, get your gloves on, get everything you need ready, and then don't forget to read the instructions on the high temperature spray foam. Don't use normal spray foam, you do need to use the high temperature because obviously the sun heat in the car gets quite intense. And just do it by section. So I'm going to put this on a fast loop so you don't have to watch me, but just take your time here and obviously make sure you measure that you've got the correct piece. Yeah, and then I'll see you at the end, and a nice sharp scalpel. Okay, so it looks a bit crude at this stage, so now it's time to go around and let it dry. It only takes about 5 minutes to dry. Get a nice sharp scalpel and tidy up all the edges, cut all the holes for the screws to go back in with the handles, and then that's done. Now, if you have a sunroof obviously I don't. I've added these heat mats. They're really good actually. I'll tell you about those later, but they just help reflect some of the heat in the summer and keep some of the noise off the roof. But if you've got a sunroof, you'll see there's a big black bracket sort of tray. Now you don't have to remove it all, but if you remove the back screws and the middle screws, loosen the front, you can drop the tray down and you can slide the sunroof visor out and retrim it and then slide it back in. So it's not actually too bad, and they always give you enough material to do that. Okay, so I'm going to go and trim this up and then I'm going to put it back in the car. I'll fast forward the last bits, but don't be tight on the scalpels. As soon as they go blunt, get rid of it, get another blade, because you'll ruin your job, and they go blunt very quickly with this material. So buy a pack of 20 when you do. Right, see you in a minute. Alright, so I've trimmed all the headlining up. I've put it in, obviously crudely, so I find clipping it in at the back of the two clips is easiest first. When you slide it in, you will have to bend it slightly because it is slightly wider than the opening at the back. So don't worry about bending it, just don't fold it directly in half because you will put a crease in it. Now you might find you've got a couple of crease marks from where you've laid it, but they will actually come out after a couple of days once it's been in the car. And once you cut all the holes out for the handle. So now it's just a case of putting it back as you found it and then put all the trim back. So hopefully you find that helpful. And remember, that cost me $79.99, all the bits plus a few scalpels and some gloves. And I mean, if you're going to do it at home and you make a mess of it, you waste 80 quid, but I'm sure whatever you end up with, it's going to look better than the original. So hope that helps. Till next time, thanks very much for watching.